Hey Chiefs fans, if you're looking for the latest Chiefs news, you've come to the right place, because today we have 3 news items that have taken the media by storm. There's a local kid with incredible speed that the Chiefs have been discreetly watching, and things have gotten even more serious. Then Andy Reid shut everyone up about Justin Fields with a direct response, and on top of that, Brett Veach talked about exactly what Kenneth Walker is expected to bring to the offense. Give it a quick like, and let's go, because the Chiefs might be about to sign a local talent in this draft. Alright, let's talk about one of the more interesting under-the-radar stories coming out of Kansas City right now. The Chiefs are doing their homework on a wide receiver prospect from the 2026 NFL Draft, and this one has a local twist that makes it even more fun to follow. His name is Malik Benson, former Oregon wide receiver, and the Chiefs have now scheduled a second formal interview with him, this time virtually, after already sitting down with him at the NFL Scouting Combine back in February. When a team meets with a guy twice before the draft even happens, that's not casual interest, that's real homework being done. Now here's what makes Benson such an interesting name to watch. First, the obvious one, speed. The man ran a 4.37 second 40-yard dash at the combine. That's not just fast, that's the kind of fast that gets Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes excited. You can scheme around a lot of things in the NFL, but you cannot teach that kind of speed. Either you've got it or you don't, and Benson has got it. Second, and this is the part that adds a cool layer to the whole story, Benson is literally a local kid. He grew up in Lansing, Kansas, right outside Kansas City. So for him, getting drafted by the Chiefs wouldn't just be a career opportunity, it'd be a full circle moment. His college journey? Let's just say it wasn't a straight line. Benson came out of Lansing High School as part of the 2021 recruiting class, where he was already turning heads as a sprinter in track and field. But instead of landing at a Power 5 program right away, he had to grind through the JUCO route at Hutchinson Community College. He became one of the top recruits at that level and eventually signed with Alabama. A massive get for a guy who took the long road. The problem, he never quite found his footing with the Crimson Tide. 2023 came and went with minimal production. Then he transferred to Florida State in 2024. Same story, stuck in the depth chart, barely seeing the field. At that point, a lot of people probably wrote him off. But if you thought that was the boldest move the Chiefs made recently, hold on, because Andy Reid just stepped in front of the cameras and shut down one of the biggest narratives surrounding Justin Fields. And what he said, nobody saw it coming like that. Okay, so when the Kansas City Chiefs went out and acquired Justin Fields from the New York Jets back in March, the internet immediately started running wild with takes. And honestly, the most popular one was pretty predictable. People assumed Andy Reid was going to do what the Pittsburgh Steelers did. Pull out a special package, give Fields the ball in certain situations, and basically use him as a gadget weapon alongside Patrick Mahomes. Reid just put that narrative to rest, completely. When asked about the possibility of playing Fields in multiple positions or using him in creative packages, Reid was straightforward. He's more than a gadget guy. That's not how I'm looking at it. That's not why we brought him in. We brought him in to play quarterback if he's needed to play quarterback, and then whatever goes from there. If he gets bored, we'll have a couple of things for him. That last line is classic Reid humor, but the message underneath it is serious. Justin Fields is in Kansas City as a legitimate backup quarterback, not a trick play option, not a wildcat specialist, not an experiment, a real backup who Reid trusts to run this offense if Mahomes can't go. And the context behind that matters a lot right now. Mahomes, as most of you already know, is coming back from a torn ACL and a torn LCL, injuries he suffered back in December 2025. He's been putting in the work and reportedly is serious about being ready for the Week 1 opener, but Reid himself recently declined to confirm whether Mahomes will even be available when training camp kicks off in late July. That uncertainty is exactly why having a quarterback like Fields, and not just any backup, makes total sense. Reid went on to explain exactly why he likes Fields as a quarterback. He can do the drop back game, he can do the movement stuff, play action, whether it's a naked or a sprint out game. He has that whole package that he can do. He understands the screen game, understands how to set it up. He obviously is going to be one of the better athletes on the field when he's out there. That's not a coach talking about a gadget player. That's a coach talking about someone he actually believes in as a quarterback. Alright, now we get to the story that might actually have the biggest impact on Kansas City's 2026 season, because Brett Veach just went on record about Kenneth Walker, and what he described sounds less like a signing and more like a complete offensive identity shift. Let's be real for a second. The Kansas City Chiefs running game last season was bad. Like, really bad. Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt combined for barely over 1,000 rushing yards the entire year. For a team that prides itself on being multiple and balanced on offense, that kind of production from the backfield is simply not good enough. Defenses knew it, and they took full advantage. Safeties were sitting 15 to 20 yards off the line of scrimmage because they didn't have to worry about the run. The Chiefs knew something had to change, so this offseason, general manager Brett Veach went out and signed former Seattle Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker III to a 3-year, $43.05 million deal, and with $28.7 million guaranteed. That's a serious investment, and Veach just explained exactly why they made it. Speaking with ESPN's Peter Schrager, Veach laid out what he expects from the 25-year-old running back: the ability to dominate in between the tackles, but yet also have that burst and acceleration to hit big plays from anywhere on the field. I think his pass game is an underappreciated skill set, catching and blocking. That last part about the pass game is important. Walker isn't just a between the tackles grinder. He's a complete back. He can catch out of the backfield, he can pick up blitzes, and he has the acceleration to turn a small crease into a 20-yard gain before a defense has time to react. Veach didn't stop there. He connected Walker directly to the Chiefs' interior offensive line, which, let's be honest, is one of the best units in football right now. Having Creed Humphrey in the middle, Trey Smith and Kingsley Suamataia having those road-grading offensive linemen, just having that mentality to go out there and enforce our will on the opposing defense. Having a running back that can carry the load, that can do it all, run with power, run with speed, run with instincts and finesse. There wasn't a lot not to like about Kenneth Walker. I've been a big fan of his since his days at Michigan State. That combination, Walker's skill set behind that offensive line, is genuinely scary for opposing defenses. One of the biggest problems last year was that Pacheco and Hunt struggled to read gaps quickly enough. By the time they made their move, the hole was already gone. Walker is a patient, instinctive runner who processes information fast and hits the right spot at the right moment. That's a completely different problem for a defense to deal with. And the ripple effects go beyond just the running game. With defenses now forced to account for a legitimate ground threat, safeties can't cheat deep anymore. That opens up play action opportunities in the middle of the field. Exactly the kind of stuff that becomes devastating when Mahomes is under center. Walker doesn't just help the run game, he makes the entire offense harder to defend. Look, when you put all three of these stories together, it's clear the Chiefs are building something with real intention heading into 2026. Walker fixes the run game, Reed has a real backup in Fields, and they might still add a homegrown speedster in Benson through the draft. But here's the question: can this team win a Super Bowl with Mahomes coming off a torn ACL? Drop your take in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Chiefs Kingdom never sleeps.